Hey everyone. So with Overwatch 2 finally out, I figured I'd make this video for the, sudden surge of Moira players that decided to show up. I've been seeing a lot of shorts and TikToks lately of people memeing on Moira. Mostly just kind of seeing her as more of a DPS instead of a healer, when in reality she's kind of a hybrid of both. So I figured, I've played her a few amounts. I've climbed up to Diamond with her at some point. So I figured, me, maybe I can share some tips here and there to hopefully help the new people. So let's get started with some basics. So first off is with Moira's biotic orb. I've seen people throw the orb directly at people, and I would only recommend that if you're trying to get a quick ult charge. But otherwise, I would recommend if they're in like a tight closed area, throw it in a spot where the orb is going to be bouncing all over the place and making it a lot harder for the enemy to run away from the orb. And basically, if thrown right, the orb can be a real nightmare on DPS players, as again, you're a support. So I want to bring this up again. You're there to help, not be a full-fledged DPS player. And now here's for the actual helpful tips. Moira's Fade, which I've seen a lot of people using this as more like a get out of jail free card, which you see this gap. If you do a regular fade, what's going to happen? Will you make the jump? Nope. See, what you should be doing is adding a jump to the fade. This will actually give you more of a height and momentum kind of thing. So you'll kind of launch forward. So whatever gaps you couldn't clear out before, you should be able to. And at the same time, you can also use this to get to higher ground. So in most situations, certain DPSs you want to contest, like a Widow or a Soldier, you can definitely start giving them, a bit of an issue. I wouldn't recommend going DPS Moira in situations like this, but just in case, say your DPS is hurt her a bit and she's trying to run for cover, you can sometimes use this as an ability to kind of launch yourself up there and, finish the job. And now here's an interesting one. The fake out, which it's basically a fade, but all you're doing is just kind of moving back and forth, kind of fooling them into thinking that you're going somewhere, but in reality you're not really moving locations. But again, the enemy wouldn't really know that. It's a really simple thing. As soon as you fade, you just move forward, back, repeatedly, and to you, you'll just kind of be staying in the same spot, but to them, they're gonna think that you're moving somewhere else. And trust me, I've actually gotten some pretty good kills with this technique. And lastly, to kind of wrap things up, remember that you can also sneak in a melee. So what you should probably be doing is, if the enemy is close enough, I wouldn't recommend this with Reaper though, but if the enemy is close enough, make sure to sneak in a few melee attacks. You'll be, what's it called, finishing off other enemies a lot faster than if you're just giving them the suck. And yeah, that's pretty much the best tips I can give at the moment. If there's any ones you want to, I don't know if you want me to explain any other of the other heroes, because I am a flex player after all. And yeah, if you need any, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. I do live stream this game on Twitch. I do plan on uploading a little bit more on my other social medias. Until then, I'll see everyone later.